They have to randomly discard a card. The problem is that Diablo,
And we do see that beast come down.
and we do see the Bucky come down, see Diablo coming down.
We see a Bucky come down from Mike. We also see the Shift Diablo.
Small Diablo.
The second Disney Lorcana challenge just ended. There were a lot of different decks that participated. Let's check it out. So here's the list of the breakdown for the top cut. I'm missing 3 decks because I couldn't really find them, but we have 23 Ruby Sapphires, 13 Emerald Steels, 9 Sapphire Steels, 8 Amethyst Ruby, 2 Amber Ruby, 2 Amber Steel, 2 Amethyst Emerald, 1 Amber Emerald, 1 Amethyst Steel. Amber Steel came in first place after the Swiss rounds, but did not make it through top cut. Psst, hey, over here, you want to check out these deck lists? First up, sorry if I butcher these names. In top 4 we have Kurt Spies, playing Ruby Amethyst. This is a fairly standard Ruby Amethyst build which I'm sure you've seen since Rise of the Floodborn came out. A few new additions to the deck are King Undisputed, which is a 4-cost song that causes your opponent to sacrifice a character. This is a good answer to a lot of the Ruby Sapphire cards because they'll constantly be dropping big dudes by themselves and you'll be able to make them sacrifice it just by playing King Undisputed. And the best part about it is your Merlin Goat and Merlin Rabbit can sing this card, so you won't even slow down your tempo. Of course, the deck is playing Flynn Rider and Sisu. This combination has taken Ursula's Return by storm, as Flynn Rider can easily net you a lot of early lore, especially when you do a turn 2 Flynn Rider into a turn 3 Sisu, as Sisu's strength will likely be around 5 or 6, making it pretty hard for your opponent to get a stronger strength character than you. He also decided to play 4 Brawls, which is basically required because of Diablo, but what's an interesting note is he opted not to play Pastel. Pastel has been pretty common in a lot of the new Ruby Amethyst builds, as on turn 3 you can buff it with Merlin Crab in order to deal with Diablo, just in case you don't have Brawl. Our second top 4 deck was by Thomas Sabakowitz. I don't know how to say that, I'm sorry. He played Ruby Sapphire. It's a fairly straightforward build, but notice he opted to play Sisu Emboldened Warrior instead of the other 3-cost Sisu. The reason for this is that Flynn Rider is actually a pretty big threat to Ruby Sapphire, and by playing your own Emboldened Warrior, you can essentially cancel out your opponent's Flynn Rider, giving you a chance to make it to your late game, where you can start dropping Tamatoa and Maleficent. He had an interesting choice of Greatstone Dragon, which is replacing some of those Fishbone Quills. Greatstone Dragon actually does a lot for this deck, as it allows you to accomplish the ramp mission without sacrificing the cards in your hand, but instead using the characters in your discard pile. Gramatala and Sisu will be trading with your opponent's early game, so it'll be fairly easy to get value off Greatstone Dragon. In second place we have Jordan Moore playing Emerald Amethyst. This is a deck that everyone thought was dead in Ursula's Return, but Jordan swept in to show everyone what's up. This deck focuses on the early game Cursed Merfolk and Flynn Rider to gain lore quickly and protect them by either bouncing them back to your hand with Madam Mim or bouncing your opponent cards back to their hand with Mother Knows Best and Kid Cloud Kicker. As you get into the later stages of the game, you'll be playing Merlin Goat in the Queen's Castle to get the last few lore you need to close the game out. Interesting note is that Jack can force your opponent's Diablo to challenge your character, so that way you can easily get rid of your opponent's Diablo, and the 7-cost Ursula is able to be shifted in order to stop your opponent's Ursula, the Deceiver, or really any singing which will protect your Diablo. This is likely the strongest aggro deck in Lorcana, and if aggro is your style, a little net deck can never hurt anyone. And in first, I bet you couldn't guess, we have Emerald Steel. I think if you asked anyone what deck was going to win this Lorcana challenge, the only answer you would have gotten is Emerald Steel. This deck is so impressive because it's got quick lore with Flynn Rider, insane removal with all the Steel songs, and now, even, we don't talk about Bruno. And of course, if you thought you were going to play your cards to get rid of the turbo draw engine that is Beast and Diablo, well, think again, because Bucky's going to discard your entire hand. Hidden Cove is a new addition to this deck, which recently we've seen quite frequently. The reason for that is in the mirror match, it makes your Diablo unable to be killed by cards like Baboom and Let the Storm Rage On, and it also protects your Bucky from cards like Tinkerbell. Congratulations to Brian Cordage for winning Lorcana Challenge Chicago. You played very well and you deserve that win. If you like Lorcana content, then subscribe. See ya.